Um, hey guys, I wanted to continue to talk about narcissism, dismantling narcissism, identifying narcissism, and a lot of the narcissistic circle of toxicity that can be spread in different ways, and the polarity of that, how that doesn't have to be negative. It could be something positive, but how it starts to affect other people into negative aspects. It ends up being something that's real negative in the negative world that we live in. And the way that it can be spun that way. Okay. And, so I wanted to talk a little bit about this one in entitlement. Okay. So entitlement or self-entitlement. And that, what is that? Okay. So it's somebody thinking that they're better than you, for something that they didn't work for. Somebody thinking they are better than you for an achievement that they didn't accomplish. Somebody thinking, perceiving, acting, somebody pretending that they're better than you for irrelevant things, for things that are insignificant. Somebody falsifying that they're better than you. A narcissist starts telling lies that they're better than you for irrelevant little things. So they might start to talk about somebody's race. They might they might feel entitled by their own race. Okay. By talking about how great their own race or culture is. And, this is narcissistic, and it's called egocentrism. Okay. So somebody else's race is so, they're better than you just because of their race. They say that they're better than you just because of your race. And at the same time, and the arrogance, and the same time, they're going to be shaming you, and you should feel shame for your race. My race is so great, this and that, and I have all these strengths, and we're so great, this and that. But at the same time, you should feel weak for your race. You should feel weak for your race's actions. You should feel weak. And remember that one time? Yeah. They'll bring this up and they'll start playing these psychological games, and the different ways. So egocentrism is believing that somebody else is better than you because of their race or their culture. Their race is so great, we don't make mistakes. Our race is so great, we didn't admit no flaws. But they're not going to admit the flaws of the race. They're not going to admit any people made mistakes, and everybody made mistakes. Everybody was guilty of have flaws. Everybody has imperfections, but not focusing on that. Okay, you don't want to focus on admitting that, but not. But then growing, and growing as a people, growing as a race, growing as a culture, and getting better in positive ways. But ego centrism, I'm saying that could be the need to want to shame other people's race. So you should want to feel shame for something you didn't do, something your ancestors did that was like generations ago. You should want to feel shame for that. But yet we're so great, we don't make mistakes. We're so great, we have all these strengths. Our strengths, we're strong. We don't make mistakes. We're so great, but yet you should feel shame for your own race and culture. So ultimately, that's ultimately related to narcissism, because it's arrogance once again. Painting themselves as being perfect, but yet wanting to shame others. Okay. So another thing is somebody can feel a entitlement for, or self-entitled could be their family name. Okay. Once again, something that they didn't work for, something that was irrelevant, something that they didn't put in the hard work for. Okay. Their family name. Okay. So they feel a false sense of entitlement for their family name. Okay. Now that could be crooked, and when more you find out about things in life, it could be that the granddaddy was crooked, their daddy was crooked, and so but yet they think that they were entitled by the family name or something like this, or they're supposed to feel proud. for, but that wasn't them. That wasn't their achievement. They were just born with a name. They were born into something. So and they didn't work hard for that. Okay, so somebody that was born into something, they were born a certain race. That doesn't make them better than you. Somebody was born a certain race and culture. That doesn't make them better than you. Somebody was born with a certain name. That doesn't make them better than you. They didn't do better than you just because they were born with a certain last name. They didn't do better than you just because they were born a certain race. They didn't do better than you because they were born a certain skin color. But yet they're bragging like they have this the sense of entitlement and the self entitlement, and they didn't put in the hard work. They didn't do the efforts. They didn't actually make the achievements they're bragging about. Something they didn't do that was done by previous generations, and so it's a false sense of entitlement. They start to brag about, boast about, inheritance. Okay, they got an inheritance, from their ancestors, and they could be a property, could be an inheritance, could be a fortune, could be a farm, could be, but once again, something that they didn't work for, something that they didn't earn, something that they didn't put the hard work into. They were born into this. Okay, so they start to feel this, and ultimately it's a false sense of entitlement, because that didn't make them better than you. That they had an inheritance, and okay, they may act like that makes them better than you because they were born with an inheritance. Okay, so this creates a false sense of security, because ultimately the subconscious knows it. The subconscious has realized, like, we didn't do anything. We just signed some papers, and we got the farm, and now we signed some paperwork over, and we got inheritance. We just signed some paper, and we got the life insurance, but we didn't do anything. We're millionaires. Okay, so from this, but ultimately the subconscious goes, hey, you didn't earn that. You didn't do that the hard way. You didn't do that through hard work. Okay, but yet that's they're acting like they're better than other people just because of that, and it creates this the false sense of entitlement, and that they're better than thou, holier than thou, and prima donnas are born. Okay, when they think that they're better than you for irrelevant reasons. Once again, irrelevant reasons, and they didn't. But that really was them. They didn't do the hard work. They didn't themselves build that up. And for the race, the family name, the bank account, they think they can get out of hard work, them having a false sense of superiority because for something that they didn't earn. Okay, they didn't earn the title. Okay, they didn't earn the title. They were given the title because of their relatives, because of their ancestors. Because of their family name, because of an inheritance had to be left for somebody. We took out a life insurance policy, and it had to have a beneficiary, and that was them. They earned that. Well, it was a lot easier than it's made out to be, and them having this a false sense of superiority, and it's fragile, and the subconscious, has already realized this week, and but once these realizations are made, once again, it can really trigger a narcissist into that narcissistic toxic circle. And so how could that be positive? If somebody was given these titles, they didn't have to be negative. Somebody could they earn the title. Okay, they earned the title and defended the title. Okay, even if they were given the title, they defended the title. Okay, they put in their own hard work and efforts, and they worked for the title. Okay, they actually put in the hours for the title, and they didn't inherit it, the title. They didn't But if they did, they're actually did a good job with it. But that could be the pursuit of happiness. That could be they inherited a farm. Okay, but that wasn't the only thing that they did. They were able to actually take that farm and to build it. They were actually putting in the hard work. They were actually able to grow that farm into a franchise, and be really successful by actually accentuating and being positive and growing that. But it wasn't a false sense of entitlement or a false sense of superiority for something that they didn't do, they didn't earn, that they were just given because of their name or because of an inheritance. Or because of their race. Okay, they and egocentrism. Once again, we'll wrap this one up. But acting like they're better than somebody else for something that was irrelevant. Once again, okay, were they actually better than them? No, but my last name is such and such. Do you know who my daddy is? Huh? You hear somebody say something like that, be like, whoa. I mean, so it's such a big ego that you may not be able to fix them. Or if somebody says my daddy's such and such, or ooh, well, that's not them, and that's not the issue. That's not even an issue at all. Okay, but totally irrelevant. Them trying to take credit for something that was totally irrelevant, and not. But they'll start to paint a false sense of superiority, like they're better than you because of their last name. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap this one up and just identifying more narcissistic traits and narcissistic problems.